Hello. Welcome to Reading Time. My name's Time, and this week we're reading Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Let's get to reading. Alice in Wonderland, or Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, is a novel about a girl named Alice who finds herself in a strange new world. In this odd place, everything seems to get curiouser and curiouser as she makes her way through it. As she is moving through this strange place, she begins to question her own identity and what it means to be who she is. Alice in Wonderland has been adapted many times, so you are likely familiar with the Queen of Hearts, the Mad Hatter, the White Rabbit, Cheshire Cat, and the whole host of other characters in this book. For me personally, I'm actually most familiar with the 1999 movie live-action version instead of the Disney version, which I know more people tend to be familiar with. And I grew up watching that movie quite a bit, and it stays pretty close to the book itself. So this story did have a little bit of nostalgia for me in that sense. And because I was already familiar with the story and knew to expect absolute nonsense and whimsy and chaos, I wasn't as thrown off by it as I have been with some of the other stories that I've read in this reading challenge. And as such, while I likely would have given this book 3 stars compared to other books similar to it, I'm actually going to give it 4 stars because I do have a soft spot in my heart for Wonderland, even though it's not my favorite story and I don't think it quite reaches 5 stars for me. Because of some of that nonsense, I did still enjoy reading it. There is some content to be aware of in this book. For violence, you are likely familiar with the Queen of Hearts saying, which is "off with their heads," which she frequently shouts when she's upset about literally anything. So there is always the danger in this kingdom of being executed. Additionally, there's a scene where Alice visits the house of a duchess, and the duchess and cook are yelling at each other and throwing plates and stuff like that. So there is violence there. During this scene, the Duchess also is singing a song while her baby is sneezing because there's too much pepper in the soup. And one of the lines in her song says that she beats her baby the more that he sneezes. So while we don't actually see that necessarily in the book, there is still that line to be aware of. For substance usage, there is a caterpillar that is smoking a hookah while Alice has a conversation with him. And at multiple points in this book, Alice consumes either food or drink, not really knowing what it will do to her. And typically it just changes her size, either making her very big or very small. But even so, she consumes substances without knowing what their outcome will be. For a reading level, this is usually a 3rd to 8th grade reading level book. Readers on the younger end of that scale are likely to enjoy the nonsense of this world, and those that are approaching adolescence are going to better appreciate the ideas of identity and growing up that are present in this book. Growing up is a main topic in this book, as Alice literally grows multiple times in this book due to some of what she eats and drinks. She begins to fret that she is not the same person as she was before because she's a different height. But beyond that, we can interpret that to mean she doesn't really know who she is before because she has grown, or she has grown up. And on the surface level, Wonderland is just confusing and very dreamlike and nonsensical, but it can also be symbolic of growing up and feeling out of place as you grow up, not really knowing what's going on and everything around you seeming a little strange. Adolescence is a time where a lot of this growth happens, and a time when people figure out their identity. Who am I as an individual? So these themes are definitely something to explore when reading this book. It can also be fun to play around with Lewis Carroll's world and the characters within. They are all strange but very interesting, and it could be fun for students to create their own characters or do character analysis of one of those individual characters that are already present in the book. What do we know about each individual character based off of what is told to us directly, as well as what is told to us indirectly through their actions, mannerisms, and what they say? Overall, once again, this is an enjoyable book. It's definitely 4 out of 5 stars for me. For the poster square for this week, we are right here with a teapot that I'm guessing represents the Mad Tea Party that Alice has with the Mad Hatter and the March Hare. Let me know what you think of Alice in Wonderland in the comments below, and if you have any other book recommendations. If you are not already, feel free to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Facebook or Instagram for updates about what I'm reading. And as always, have a marvelous week and a wonderful read.